know what role she really played in his life. I just know that I've seen her a couple of times, in places that she shouldn't have.
There are moments in life that no amount of fame, success, or money can prepare you for. Moments that arrive quietly, yet leave a mark so deep that nothing ever feels quite the same again. For actress and television personality LisaRaye McCoy, one of those moments came when she faced a reality that countless parents experience, but few are ever truly ready for. The day her daughter began building a life of her own. To many people, it may sound like a normal part of growing up. Children become adults, they chase their dreams, they move away, they create their own futures. But for LisaRaye, this wasn't just another chapter, it felt like the closing of an entire book.
Why, for me, it's like, hold on now, we had a conversation about this. Come talk to me. And here's the thing, don't make me do it with the receipts, don't make me do it.
For years, LisaRaye and her daughter shared a bond that went far beyond the typical mother-daughter relationship. They laughed together, traveled together, supported each other, and stood side by side through life's biggest challenges. They weren't just family, they were best friends. And when that kind of connection changes, even for positive reasons, it can create a heartbreak that's difficult to explain. From the outside, LisaRaye's life looked glamorous. She was known for her beauty, confidence, and strong personality. Fans saw the red carpets, television appearances, and successful career. What many people didn't see was the woman behind the spotlight.
After a divorce and you have to reflect on who you are, I was doing this to him, and it was like, well, wait a minute, what did you do and what part did you have in the marriage?
Correct.
I went through that. But the last straw was just the lot of shenanigans, that's not honest and not being, one-on-one.
A woman whose greatest role was being a mother. Long before the cameras and public attention, LisaRaye dedicated herself to raising her daughter. Like many single mothers, she faced obstacles, sacrifices, and difficult decisions. There were times when she had to be both mother and father, times when she had to stay strong even when she felt exhausted. Every achievement her daughter accomplished felt like a victory she had fought for, herself. As the years passed, their connection only seemed to grow stronger. Friends often noticed how close they were. They spoke openly, shared personal moments, and leaned on each other through life's ups and downs. Because of that closeness, LisaRaye became accustomed to having her daughter nearby.
Surprise for you today. Joining us to help celebrate you, your special day, is platinum-selling, chart-topping hip-hop artist who's also the first female rapper to sell 1 million copies of her debut album. Please welcome one of the smoothest female MCs of the 90s, LisaRaye's sister, Da Brat.
Yeah, Chi-Town.
What's up?
Tell yourself.
Surprise, LisaRaye. Look at her.
She wasn't just raising a child anymore. She had built her world around someone who had become her closest companion, and that's where the emotional struggle began. As her daughter matured, she naturally started seeking more independence. She wanted to create her own experiences, make her own decisions, and discover who she was outside of her mother's shadow. That's what every parent hopes for. But hope and acceptance are not always the same thing. Deep inside, LisaRaye found herself wrestling with emotions she hadn't expected: pride, fear, sadness, and an overwhelming feeling that something precious was slipping away. At first, the changes seemed small. Phone calls became less frequent, schedules became busier, plans were sometimes postponed. Life simply began moving in different directions. None of these changes were unusual, yet together they created a painful realization. The little girl she had spent years protecting was no longer a little girl. She was becoming her own woman, and that transition was harder than LisaRaye expected. Many parents quietly experience this emotional shift. Experts often describe it as a form of grief, not because someone is gone, but because a season of life has ended.
David to her straight, because my thing is this. When you're a woman and you grown, let's handle it like a woman. Let's talk face to face and let's get it out.
For LisaRaye, that season had lasted decades. She remembered school mornings, birthday celebrations, family vacations, late-night conversations, moments that once seemed endless. Now, those memories felt like photographs from another lifetime. But here's the twist. The real struggle wasn't about distance. It wasn't about growing apart. It was about learning how to redefine a relationship that had always been at the center of her life. Like many mothers, LisaRaye had spent years being needed. She provided guidance, protection, advice, support. Then suddenly, her daughter no longer needed those things in the same way, and that can be surprisingly painful. There were moments when LisaRaye openly admitted feeling emotional about the changes happening around her. She questioned how she fit into this new phase of life. Where was her place now? What did motherhood look like when the child you raised no longer depended on you every day? These weren't questions about love. The love never disappeared. They were questions about identity. For so many years, being a mother had shaped every decision she made. Now life was asking her to discover a new version of herself. What nobody expected was how relatable her story would become. As LisaRaye spoke about her feelings, countless parents recognized themselves in her words. Many admitted they had experienced the same heartbreak, the same tears, the same uncertainty, the same fear of letting go. Suddenly, this wasn't just a celebrity story, it was a human story, a family story, a story about change. And change can be incredibly difficult, even when it's leading to something beautiful. As time passed, LisaRaye began reflecting on the lessons hidden inside her pain. She realized that love isn't measured by proximity, it's measured by connection. A child growing independent isn't abandoning their parents, they're applying the lessons their parents taught them. Every confident step forward is often proof that the parenting worked. That realization didn't erase the sadness, but it helped transform it. Slowly, LisaRaye began embracing a new perspective. Instead of seeing the transition as a goodbye, she started viewing it as an evolution. The relationship wasn't ending, it was changing, and sometimes change creates room for an even deeper connection. The mother who once tied shoelaces now offered wisdom. The daughter who once needed protection now offered friendship. Their bond was becoming something different, something more mature, something built not only on family but also on mutual respect. Of course, emotional growth rarely happens overnight. There were still difficult days, still moments of loneliness, still times when old memories triggered unexpected tears. But little by little, acceptance began replacing fear. LisaRaye discovered that letting go doesn't mean loving less. In many ways, it means loving more. It means trusting, believing, allowing someone to become everything they were meant to be. And perhaps that's one of the hardest responsibilities any parent will ever face. Not raising a child, but releasing them. Looking back, LisaRaye's emotional farewell wasn't really a farewell at all. It was the closing of one chapter and the beginning of another. A chapter filled with new experiences, new conversations, and a different kind of closeness. The kind that exists even when people aren't standing in the same room. Because real love doesn't disappear when life changes. Real love adapts. It grows. It survives distance, time, and uncertainty. And maybe that's the lesson hidden inside this emotional journey. Sometimes the hardest goodbyes are not permanent goodbyes. They're simply transitions. Moments that challenge us to accept that life keeps moving forward. For LisaRaye, the tears were real, the emotions were real, the heartbreak was real. But so was the pride, so was the love, And so was the understanding that every parent eventually reaches a moment when they must watch their child step into the world on their own. It's never easy, it never feels fair, and it never stops being emotional. But in the end, that's the true beauty of parenthood. You spend years teaching someone how to fly. Then one day you stand back and watch them spread their wings. And even though your heart aches as they soar into the distance, you smile, because deep down you know that's exactly what they were meant to do. What do you think about LisaRaye's emotional journey as a mother? Have you ever had to say goodbye to a chapter of life you weren't ready to leave behind? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more emotional celebrity stories.